Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing 10 dark books that I have on my physical TBR. So I am preparing for this huge Halloween party that we're throwing tomorrow, and we're planning to wear a little bit of fake blood, so I just wanted to try it out. So I think it came out really well. It goes on so perfectly and it looks so scary, so I cannot wait for tomorrow. It's gonna be an amazing Halloween party. Halloween's my favorite holiday, so yeah. So in honor of that, I thought that I would just share 10 dark books that I have on my physical TBR with you. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I have 5 translated works, 4 fiction works, and 1 non-fiction work. So let's start out with translated first. So the first book that I want to talk about is The Transmigration of Bodies by Yuri Herrera. This is a reimagining of Romeo and Juliet set in Mexico. So a plague has broken out in the city and there's 2 warring families and they need the Redeemer to broker peace between them, and he needs to broker peace so that both sides can return the bodies of their dead to the other side. So sounds gruesome, sounds dark, and it's translated, so love. The next one is 1,000 Rooms of Dream and Fear by Atiq Rahimi. This is set in Kabul in 1979. A student wakes up and he has been beaten and bruised badly and he's left in an abandoned house, and he realizes that he can never go home to his family because whatever brought that pain and suffering upon him might bring it down on the heads of his own family if he returns. It might be a trap. So this is his story about figuring out what happened to him, why it happened, and I think that it sounds really powerful, and I don't think I've read anything set in Kabul specifically, so I'm really looking forward to this one in the future. So the next novel that I have is very controversial, and it is a game we play by Simona Vinci, which is originally an Italian work. So in Italy, when this novel first came out, it was very much praised by some and hated by others. Many people have tried to ban this book. This is following a group of 5 young children, 2 girls and 3 boys, I believe, and they are starting to explore their sexual awakening together, except that when one of the children finds pornography, things take a very dark turn. So I've heard very different things about this novel. Some people really thought that it shed light on a very dark topic in an interesting way, and some people said it was just absolutely vile. So that's the kind of review that I'm looking for. That's the kind of controversial viewpoints that intrigues me. So we'll see about this one in the future. Next up is a Japanese translation, and this is The Sea and Poison by Shusaku Endo. So this follows a Japanese doctor during wartime when he is ordered to perform a live vivisection on an American captive without any anesthesia. So the book alternates between the doctor now and him living this absolutely shattered life because that instance has burned itself in his memory and he has extreme PTSD from it, as well as in the moment when he is performing the acts on the American soldier. And so I just have never read this one yet because I think it's going to be extremely gruesome and have a lot to say about just things in general. And as an American who then also lived in Japan, I think that the area will be very gray and it's not an area I'm looking forward to. I don't know why I bought this thinking it was a good idea, because I've had it for years now and I'm still terrified to read it. So yeah, it's on this list because I'm terrified of it, so yay! And the last translation I want to talk about is Our Life in the Forest by Darrieussecq. I'm so sorry I butchered that name. Scary pun notwithstanding. So this follows a woman in the near future where the rich have been able to change out their organs with their doubles, who are their twins created in a lab where they just switch out, lungs or limbs or whatever they need so that they live longer. However, we are following a woman who is hiding in the forest with a lab full of doubles, including her own. And they're on the run from the government and they're fleeing deeper and deeper into the forest, and as they do so, she is disintegrating herself, so she's down to 1 lung, 1 eye, and the spare bodies are starting to behave very strangely and she's not sure what's happening. So it sounds really creepy, and I really wanted to get to it and for some reason I just haven't picked it up. So maybe I will read it soon, but I definitely am really excited about it. I'm excited about all of these on here, but Just for some reason or another, I haven't yet picked it up, but feel free to do so and let me know about it. The next 3 novels that I'm going to talk about you may already know because they're quite well known. So if you have already read these, let me know your thoughts down below if I should read it sooner rather than later. So the first one I want to talk about is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I picked this up for 2 reasons. One, I watched the TV show and it was amazing. I really highly recommend it if you have the chance to watch it. The second reason is that it has trick rep in here, which is one of the mental disorders that I have, which is also known as the hair pulling disorder. So it's really important to me that I read this because there's barely any fiction books with trick rep in there. So I'm really intrigued to get to this. We're following a main character who's a journalist, and she's called back to her hometown where a series of murders of young women have happened, and her job is to report on it, investigate it. Not only is that happening, but the house that she grew up in is very suffocating. Her parents are just really mentally abusive, and she has struggled a lot to get away from that mentality, and now she's suddenly forced back into it. So it's supposed to be a very dark psychological thriller, and I already do know what happens because, like I said, I watched the TV show, but I want to read the book and see how it differs, if at all. So the next book on this list is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson, which, now that I think about it, this is actually, I believe, Swedish, so this is translated as well. I guess it's just so popular that I forgot that it was actually translated. So in this one we follow Lisbeth Salander, who is a hacking prodigy, and she has had to go through a lot in her life, and she's called upon to investigate the disappearance of someone on a very wealthy estate. I have seen the movie and it was so good, so I'm really intrigued to read this, and I think it's a trilogy, so if you guys also think that it's very dark and it's very good, let me know down below. I'm always really intrigued by books that are really popular if you're going to live up to the dark hype or not. So really do let me know down below. I'm so intrigued by these. So a new one that everyone is talking about is My Sister the Serial Killer. This one is following 2 sisters, one of whom starts to kill her boyfriends, and her sister is tasked with helping her clean up the murders. So I've heard mixed reviews. Some people have said it's really great, and some people have said it's actually boring for such a unique, interesting topic. So I'm intrigued, but the fact that we're following a female serial killer is pretty much enough to get me to read this book, not to mention the cover is stunning. So the next book I want to talk about is the last fiction novel, and it is The Machine by James Smith. Now, I got this for a few reasons. One, it says it's a Frankenstein retelling. Great. 2, it's blurbed by Matt Haig, author of The Humans. And 3, it says reminiscent of Ian McEwan at his most macabre. Great. Awesome. So I'm just gonna read you the synopsis since it's a little complicated. So Beth lives alone on a desolate housing estate near the sea. Excellent, near the sea. She came here to rebuild her life following her husband's return from the war. His memories haunted him, but a machine promised salvation. It could record his memories, good or bad, and preserve the life that existed before the nightmares. However, now the machines are gone, the government declared them too controversial, the side effects too harmful. But within Beth's flat is the ever-whirling box. She knows that the memories can be put back, and that she can rebuild her husband piece by piece. Ooh. Oh, I really want to read this. I think that I'm a bit nervous because I haven't heard of anyone else talking about it, and yeah, this one I might save if I do another reading books authors recommend to me. So this is by Matt Haig, so I'm nervous, but if you've read this, let me know what you thought down below. The cover is also really so creepy. That's what first drew me to it in the store, was that this was just the creepiest cover ever. Okay, and the last book I want to talk about is a nonfiction. So this is The Trauma Cleaner by Sarah Krasnostein. So it says, before she was a trauma cleaner, Sandra was many things. Husband and father, drag queen, sex reassignment patient, sex worker, businesswoman, trophy wife. But as a little boy, raised in violence and excluded from family home, she just wanted to belong. So now her clients deserve no less. So she is a trauma cleaner who cleans after people who are in really hard circumstances. So some of them include a woman who sleeps among garbage that she has not put out for 40 years, a man who bled quietly to death in his lounge room, a woman who lives with rats, random debris, and terrified delusion, and the still life of a home vacated by accidental overdose. So this is documenting not only Sarah's own life, but also the life of the people that she's cleaning up for. So the number one thing I've heard from people is that after reading this book, despite the dark content, you feel so like triumphant and victorious for how much Sarah has overcome in her life and where she is now, that it's just supposed to be so powerful and so amazing. So I'm really, really looking forward to this one. So that finishes up the 10 dark books that I have on my physical TBR shelf. Let me know if you have read any of them, and I would love to chat down in the comments. If you guys are excited for Halloween as well, do let me know. I have a few more Halloween videos coming up, including one where I dress in my Halloween costume. So if that sounds at all up your alley, or you're interested in dark, queer, and translated literature, let me know, subscribe, hit the like button, and I will chat to you guys in another video soon. Bye!